Okay, hello. Today let's take a look at the tangent function. Let's graph the tangent function. I have to tell you it's not one of my favorite ones, but we are going to graph it anyway. Now, first of all, the tangent is defined as the sine divided by the cosine. So I have a little sketch here of a cosine graph, and that means if I want to graph a tangent function, it is undefined every time the cosine is equal to 0. So when we graph a tangent functions, we have to deal with what are called asymptotes. Because if the cosine is equal to 0, then we know that the tangent function is not defined. So with my little sketch here, you can see that the tangent function is not defined at pi over 2, at 3 pi over 2, and if I go the left to the left side, not defined at negative pi over 2. And that is actually the side we're going to use. The tangent function has as a period, the basic tangent function, the period is pi instead of 2 pi. Now here in green I have the standard notation for a tangent function, a times the tangent bx minus c plus d. Of course, we don't have an amplitude here as we don't have a maximum or minimum. That is kind of our stretch factor. The bx minus c is our phase shift. We're going to the left or right. And the d, we know from sine and cosine, makes us go up or down. Okay, so here are just some steps on how to graph the tangent function. First, we're going to find the period, which is pi over b in this case. The increments are the same as if we were to do with a sine or cosine function. We're multiplying 1/4 times the period, and I already talked to you about the tangent is undefined when the cosine is 0. So again, we need 5 key points, but in this case here, first of all, we have a left asymptote, which is at negative pi over 2. An asymptote, of course, is a line we come fairly close to, negative pi over 2, and we have a right asymptote, which is at positive pi over 2. So if I were to make a t-table with 5 key points, I start with negative pi over 2, which is undefined. Now, to find the other key points, we gotta do calculate the increments. The increments of a basic tangent function is 1/4 times the period, which is pi. That leaves us with pi over 4. So we're starting with the LA. LA is the left asymptote, negative pi over 2, and we're adding pi over 4 to it, which gets me to negative pi over 4. So that would be my next point. Negative pi over 4 plus pi over 4 is 0. Third point, then I add plus pi over 4, so I end up right here. That would be my fourth one, pi over 4, and then another pi over 4, which brings me to pi over 2, which of course is our right asymptote, and that is undefined. Now remember what pi over 4, what is the degree value of pi over 4? 45 degrees, and what is the tangent of 45 degrees of pi over 4? Conveniently, this is 1 and negative 1. So for negative pi over 4, the tangent of negative pi over 4 is negative 1, my y value. For 0, it is 0, and for positive pi over 4, it is not pi over 4, it's positive 1. Here you go. Okay, let's plot these points. Negative pi over 4, negative 1. 0, 0 going through the origin, and then pi over 4, and kind of equivalent to an S-curve. It comes close to these asymptote vertical lines, but it never crosses or touches. So this is one period of a basic tan function.